back. We're tasting the 2009 Dry Creek Vineyards from Dry Creek Valley, Zinfandel, and we're talking with the winemaker, Tim Bell. And again, thanks, Tim, for taking the time out to be with us. I wanted to ask you a question about the oak that you're using to age your Zinfandel. You've got about 18 months of French, American, and Hungarian oak. Could you kind of give us a hint on what your theory is by having three different kinds of oaks in this wine?
Another way that, as a winemaker, that we can use the tools in the spice cabinet to add some complexity to the wine, and each type of oak really brings something different to the wine.
Right.
The French oak, I've tended to favor Allier source barrels, which may not mean a lot to the average wine drinker, but it's tends to be a barrel that often is used for white wines. And since Zinfandel is not big and bold like a Cabernet necessarily, I think it works well as a more gentle background flavor in the wine. And the Hungarian barrels tend to bring a nice little element of toastiness to it, and then the American barrels a nice spicy quality as well.
Oh, well, that's a good combination. That's why I wondered. Not a lot of wineries are doing three different oaks, and the time it takes for you to move it from one to the other and so on, it has to be worthwhile. I'm sure you wouldn't be doing it, that's for darn sure. I want to ask you a little bit about Hungarian oak, however.
I've been a good proponent of Hungarian oak for a number of years now, and it's the same oak tree species as is used in France, so it's very similar there. You have some different influence because of where it's grown, and Eastern European, actually Hungary and Eastern European countries have a long tradition of making oak barrels, but when communism took over, that kind of went by the wayside.
Right.
And a lot of the know-how went away for a while as well. Mm-hmm. And when they first started trying to come back into the market in the 90s, some of the barrels just really weren't very well made. And in fact, some of them would leak a lot and weren't very functional. But they've learned the craft again, and then there's actually a number of French coopers that have invested in Hungary as well. And there's some very reputable suppliers now that are doing a great job, and I'm really happy to be using that as another tool for me.
Yeah, that's good. And I have to tell you that this penne vodka sauce that we're tasting with your Zinfandel is really a very good combination. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to taste that combination before or not, but one of the things that I thought would go really well with your particular Zinfandel, it has 14% Petit Syrah added to it, which I think just moves it up a little bit, which is even better. It retails, if I'm not mistaken, for around $30, and it goes, I think, extremely well with, I mentioned Zinfandel with barbecue. That's a good combination, also with hamburgers. But I have to tell you, if you have a flank steak, and you can cook that with a little bit of a pan-seared duck breast is another item that goes really well. These are perfect things to go with Tim Bell's wine. Tim, I want to thank you very much for taking time out to be with us. I want to thank you for listening to Wines du Jour, America's #1 syndicated radio wine show. We're here this time every week. And if you've enjoyed tonight's program, tell everybody you know. If you want to know more about my favorite subjects, log on to my website, leskincade.com. I want to thank Executive Chef John Kibben and the Grape Street Cafe, my broadcast engineer Jeremy Knight, the Asian TV in high definition, for making television in Las Vegas on Cox Cable, DirecTV, and all over Asia happen. And thank you for choosing and listening to Wines du Jour. From the left coast, from the right coast, and from all around the world on the internet, I'm Les Kincaid. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching Wines du Jour. We're here at the Grape Street Cafe, as we've been talking about all evening. But we featured 3 different Zinfandels, a light, a medium, and a heavy-bodied Zinfandel. And we discussed the differences between the light, medium, and the heavy. Hope that was good information for you. If you get a chance to come to Grape Street while you're in Las Vegas, make sure you do. The food is superb, open 7 days a week, and they even have a little buffet on the weekends. You might want to check it out. Call for a reservation. Thanks again for watching Wines du Jour, and we'll see you next time at this very same place.